Welcome, everybody. College football week 10 is in the books, and college football week 11 is here. I'm Joe at the Game House, and today we'll be going over college football week 11 picks. Welcome, everybody. So we're going to go over college football week 11 picks here. As a reminder, we're going to go through all the picks in a money line or straight picks type of format here. We will talk some gambling things as we go along. The week has already started with some actions. We're going to get to games that have not happened yet so far. We'll start off with the Louisville-Virginia game while I finish getting the score bug set up here. There we go. More games here. Let's go with Louisville to beat Virginia. Virginia's been a kind of a pesky team that has pulled off some upsets, obviously North Carolina. But I think Louisville is on a really good track here, kind of flying under the radar still, even as a one-loss team. They did lose to Pitt, so they are vulnerable against some of these worst teams. But I do think they have their sights set on the ACC Championship. Very good year for Jeff Brom in his first year at Louisville. I think he deserves to be in consideration for Coach of the Year awards. I think Louisville stays on focus and wins this game against Virginia. We'll keep it moving. We'll go Wyoming over UNLV. UNLV has been much improved this season, not the same doormats that you usually see in the Mountain West. Wyoming, though, been grinding out games. I mean, they don't really score a lot of points. They don't really throw for a lot of yards. They play solid defense. They run the ball well. We'll go Wyoming there. We're going to take Michigan to beat Penn State on the road. Now, there's a lot of distraction with the sign-stealing stuff. And, we haven't seen Michigan win a big game or playing a big game this year, so it's hard to say how they're going to react. They did play pretty well last season in some of these games. And Penn State, the reason I'm picking Michigan is just because I don't know if they have the offense to really threaten them. When it comes to Ohio State, Michigan later in the year, Ohio State's offense hasn't been that great either, but at least it seems a little bit better. So I'm taking Michigan in this one. Think it could go either way, especially amid all the distractions they've had. But I think Michigan, if they plays up to their potential, they should be able to win the game. Next up, we'll go Clemson over Georgia Tech. Reason we're bringing this one up, Georgia Tech has had a rough season. But Clemson, I think, for their standards, have had a rough season too. They got a good win over Notre Dame last week, get back on track. If they protect the football, they should be able to beat most teams the rest of the way and should be a good team in the future too, next season as well. So I think it's been maybe overblown, some of the criticism of Clemson. It's not the same as it once was, don't get me wrong, but if they stop turning the football over, it makes it so much easier for that good defense to slow things down. And they should get the win here against Georgia Tech. Alabama over Kentucky. Think it could be a trap game. They have Chattanooga next week, I believe, and then they have Auburn. But Miss Terry, Nick Saban's wife, has already said, well, Auburn will be tough. Well, Nick Saban said you got to focus on Kentucky too, and that's true. I mean, they have a lot of talent, wide receivers position especially. They've had some injuries there. Defense is tough. The offensive line is better than last season. If Devin Leary plays up to his potential, which he hasn't really done this season, they could be a threat to beat Alabama. I do think Alabama ends up winning. I think maybe they start off a little bit slow, but then take over the game, maybe second or third quarter. All right, next up, we'll take Kansas over Texas Tech. Kansas, ranked 18th in the college football playoff rankings. Texas Tech has grinded out some wins that you wouldn't really think they should have, given that they've had injuries at the quarterback position. But I really like this Kansas team, able to run the football. Jalen Daniels has been banged up this year, but Jason Bean has stepped in pretty well. He's made some good plays, some bad plays, but he's able to still make some plays in the end, and that's been fueling them on some of their wins this year. We'll keep on scrolling down here until we get a little bit better game. We're going to take NC State over Wake. Now, this is before we found out MJ Morris was going to redshirt. It's a whole confusing game. I don't know where this one's going to go. It's worth talking about. If NC State's quarterback is not playing, which it looks like he's not, it makes it a little bit more up for grabs. But both these teams have disappointed this year. We'll take NC State because I like their defense better. I think they have several good players on that defense who could help them get the win here. We're going to go Arizona over Colorado. Colorado's offensive line has plagued them all year long. Arizona, it doesn't matter who's played quarterback for them, they've been able to be a tough team, probably played better than expected this year. A lot of good players on that team, Michael Wiley, Jacob Cowing. I think they can get the win on the road. All right, so the score bug was not loading on thegamehouse.com. You can still go there to get the rest of my picks, but we're going to go to ESPN just for the video portion of things, just to finish off these picks here. We're going to take Florida State over Miami, rivalry game that always makes you wonder what's going to happen. But Florida State's been on one this year. They've been really, really good. Even without the receivers last week, I think they've played well down the stretch. I think Florida State will be able to get this win in this rivalry game. Utah and at Washington favored by 9.5. Yes, this game might go differently if Cam Rising's healthy. Utah still played great without him, and going 7-2 is still really impressive without your starting quarterback. But we're going to go Washington in this one. Michael Penix has been great, specifically pushing the ball vertically down the field. I think they can get the win against Utah. Tennessee and Missouri. We're going Tennessee here. Missouri's had a great season thus far. Luther Burden's been kind of banged up. I think Tennessee is a different type of team where they're running the ball, playing defense, but still very, very talented. We're going to take Tennessee on the road. Oklahoma State over UCF. Ollie Gordon's been running the ball wild this year. As you can see, 1,200 yards, 12 touchdowns on the ground. Should be able to win this game and stay alive in that Big 12 championship race. All right, we'll keep on scrolling down here until we find the next game we're going to pick. We're going to go ahead and do Ole Miss and Georgia, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have Georgia winning this game. Ole Miss would love to see more of a passing attack than what what we have seen. Yes, they've got some plenty of good receivers like Trey Harris, but I think it's going to take more, good production to beat a team like Georgia. Georgia seems like they've been figuring it out. Carson Beck's been playing better since the start of the season. I think it's a good win for Georgia as they get ready for that SEC championship game in a couple weeks. We have Texas beating TCU. We mentioned this one because TCU has struggled this year, but Quinn Ewers is reportedly coming back for this game. We're going to take Texas. We think the offense is going to be a lot better this week than it has been previous weeks with Malik Murphy. Florida at LSU. We're going LSU here. Florida had some ups and downs, but I don't think they're the greatest team. I don't think they were as bad as people thought they were at the beginning of the season. LSU, Jaden Daniels has had a fantastic season. I think he's questionable to play this week, but I do think even without him, they should be able to get the win on the road. We'll go North Carolina over Duke. Yeah, with Riley Leonard being injured, it makes it tough to pick them. We'll take North Carolina here, although they have lost to some opponents that they really should have beaten this year. We're going to go Oregon over USC. USC has fired defensive coordinator Alex Grinch, so maybe that helps them defensively, but they've been pretty bad this season in terms of defense. Oregon is more well-balanced. We're going to go with that and the fact they're at home. And the last one, we're going to go Air Force over Hawaii. Yes, Air Force did drop a game last week. Still hoping that they get into the New Year's Six as a Group of 5 representative. Key for them is just not getting down too big too early. That's what did them in last week. They need to be able to run the ball, and I think they'll be able to do so against Hawaii. So those are our college football Week 11 picks. Make sure to let me know who you're picking this week in the comments below. For now, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.